Welcome back, and in this video we will start putting together the code for our website. So just as a reminder, this is the final version of the website that we want to create, and by the end of this video we will create something which looks like this. Admittedly, it doesn't look very good at the moment, but it's just really getting the structure of the page together. So we'll be using CSS Grid to put together our website. So if you're not familiar with this, I would just do a quick search for it and use this article, which I found quite useful. So CSS Grid is a layout that can be used for your website, which sets out the structure of the website according to the CSS that you specify for the rows and the columns. So essentially you specify an element as a grid container, and then any child elements within that container will be formatted according to how you specify in the CSS. So in our final version, if we go into the Chrome Dev Tools, we can see that we have a div here which I've given the class of Sudoku main, and this is set as a grid container. So all the elements, child elements within this container, will be set according to how we specify in the CSS. So here we actually have 6 sections. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the bottom there we have the footer. And these are laid out as we have set out in the CSS. And also we have this section here with the class of main. This is also set as a grid container, but in this case the child elements are formatted according to how we specified in CSS with columns. So these 2 divs within the class of main, the div here with table container and the div with ID grid 1a, are set up as side-by-side columns. So we'll move on to putting the code together for this page. So let's get started on putting together the HTML and CSS for this. So if we start up just by setting up a basic page and linking the CSS. And we'll just do a quick test here just to make sure that that has linked together correctly. Yep, and that's working fine. So just delete that. Okay, so now we'll just put together the structure of the page. So we had a header, then we had 4 sections, 2, 3, 4, and then a footer. So we had a class equals top, class of top1, class of main, and then class of bottom. And we'll just add in just some text here just so that we can identify. So here we'll just have logo goes here. Then we can have here, we'll have play Sudoku. The next one we will have a game number, etc. In the bottom we shall put in choose easy, medium or card. So this is just filler text, just so we can see the layout of the site. And within main we also had two divs. Let's just check what those were called. So they were called table container and grid A1. Table container. Oh, that was ID. And this ID was grid A1. And then if we just put some text in here, Sudoku grid, similarly, let's just put numeric grid. Now we'll just apply some CSS styles. So for the body we'll just put margin 0 and background of hash EC, EC, EC. We'll just save that and we'll just check how that looks so far. So there we go, as we'd expect. Now we'll put some CSS for the header. So border of 1 px solid black. Oh, it's got the closing curly braces. So if we refresh here, there we go. And we'll just put some padding, 5px. And we'll put a new background. So radial gradient. So this is EAD 71. And let's see how that looks. So if we just compare that to the website that we want to create, close this. There we go, it looks broadly similar, well, it's the same color. So let's do the CSS for our Sudoku main class. So dot Sudoku main. So we'll give this a height of 100 VH, and that's just so the contents of the website take up the full page height. For the CSS grid, we need to set this as display grid. So that's setting it as the parent element, so all the grid items will be arranged according to how we specify. So we specify grid template rows, and we have also 1FR, 1FR, and then auto again. So this relates to the 6 different child elements within the Sudoku main div. So the one with the class of header, top 1, main, bottom, and footer. And what this does is for the four elements with the specification of auto, this will be calculated automatically. And then for the remainder of the space, this is set equally according to 1FR and 1FR, so fractions. So those two are set according to how much space is left. And we'll also put a grid gap. And this is 10px. And this is just for our purposes, just so we can visually see the layout. So if we refresh our page now, that didn't work, so let's go back. Oh, we didn't put the overarching div, so div class of Sudoku main, and close that out here. Tidy this up a little bit. Save this. Now we should see this updating. So there we go. This is getting better. So we'll just add some more CSS styles. So for top, class of top, we'll just add in a border so we can see the layout a little bit better. 1px solid black. If we refresh that, and we'll just do that for the top one, main, bottom, and footer. So top one, main, bottom, footer. Let's see how that looks now. So there we can see we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down at the bottom we have the 6th element. I should just add in some text there actually, just so we can see the footer a little bit better. Just put footer copyright 2019, and if we update that, there we go. So the CSS grid, if we go to our CSS file here, so it's setting 1, 2, 3, that's the first 3 autos. Then it's setting the next 2 child elements here fractionally, so 1fr, 1fr, so that they take up the remaining space equally. And the last, the footer, is set as auto, so it's just taking up the correct amount of space according to the content of the element. So what we'll need to do now also is we will need to set the main as display grid, and then we'll have grid template columns, and we'll set that as 1fr, 1fr, and what we should see here is these 2 elements here should go side by side. So if we update that, and there we go, they're now set. This is now set as 2 columns. So if we actually add in a quick border, and update, there's your 2 columns, and this is where the Sudoku grid and the numeric grid are going to be added in. So if we compare that to what we wanted to see, and this is what we had originally said that we were going to create, and this is what we have created, and I think we're pretty much there. So in the next video we will start coding for our Sudoku grid, and we'll add that in.